This is my leather box cutter holster, and I'm going to show you how to shine and dye it. First step, get some saddle soap and clean the leather. Clean all the areas that you're going to dye and wax later on. Whoa. Okay then. Oh snap. Oh snap. The brand I'm using is called Kiwi. It's a really cheap brand, and the dye, it's used like a bingo marker. I first tried to put it on a rag and then scrub it on, but the dye was too soft when it was on the rag. Eventually I realized black is literally the darkest color, and if you wanted to dye it black, you just go all out. And so I started using the dye and just squirting as much, like you squeeze the bottle and then you just spread it. And that's what I started doing, and that's what gave the best results. Of course. Also, I recommend wearing gloves because I ended up dyeing my fingers and my hands because, you know, your hands are technically leather. Because, okay, that sounds bad though. The next step, let it dry out in the sun. Now the last step, the most satisfying step. Get your wax and get an ice cube and put it in a little container and start coating your leather with wax. You want to start off with 3 thick layers. These first 3 layers are to soak into the pores and to make the leather as smooth as possible. The next step is to solidify these layers that you just put on. And you do this by getting the melted water from the ice cube and dripping it on and spreading and wiping the wax. And the more you wax it and the more layers you put and the smoother it gets, the shinier it gets. It's like a layer of crystal wax that you keep putting on, and because the layers that you put on were so smooth or so thin, they became super smooth, and then it became super shiny. The person I learned this from was from the Elegant Oxford. He's a YouTuber, and all he does is shine shoes and talk about leather shoes, and he is one of the best. Learning to spit shine, they say, is really hard, but it's actually really easy. It's just people don't really show the tricks to it. And understanding it, if you understand it, you can do it. And it's not expensive. All you have to do is keep putting layers, smooth out the layers, and after you've gotten a few layers on, if you just look at it very closely, you'll see buildup in little areas. In those little areas, you can just use less water on them and it'll warm up. And once it's warm, you can just spread it around. It's like a little mountain, and then you can just make it into a flat land. Now look at it. super shiny.